Hello and welcome to the third lecture of rules of replacement. Now in this lecture we will be taking some moderate type of questions. That means those questions which may not be as simple as the questions which we have solved in the last lecture, but still they are not also difficult questions. There may be a trick, there may be something which we need to understand, something which we need to remember, or sometimes we just need to be consistent to solve these kind of questions. So allow me to start with a very good question which is given in your book. It says that the first line is S implies T, the second line is S wedge T, so therefore T. Now, this is a very interesting question. Very interesting question. Why? Because you can see that you need to eliminate S from here. And even though this question can be also called as a simple question, but once you will be solving it, you can pause the video and try to solve. Once you will be solving it, it does not come very naturally. And this is something which I am telling you for say some years of experience, that this question is not going to be a simple question initially. So I keep it at the moderate level. However, the question is simple, truly speaking. Now, if the second thing is that if you solve this, there will be no advantage, right? Because there is nothing to solve here. It is t and you have to bring this as t. Now, what can be the strategy to eliminate something from these two things? Because if there would have been three things, so you can eliminate two things, as I told you, with the help of distribution and then simplification or something like that, you can come and eliminate something. But here you cannot eliminate anything, right? And if you suppose solve something like the third step, like suppose if you turn it as a wedge function, so it will become as s wedge t, and this is already a wedge function. So from here also you do not see anything coming out, right? Suppose if I try it like this, that okay, what I will do, I will do this something here. So I make it negation of s implies t. Then also I don't think so that there is any road or map which you can develop. So initially you will find that this question is not going to be something which will come very naturally. Though there can be students, and I'm not questioning your abilities, there can be students who can solve it just with the first go, right? Because they found the logic over there. But normally, for normal students, I will say, it does not come very naturally. Now, first, let us try to understand that if these kind of questions come, what you need to do. How to eliminate S from here. Because as you have seen that the both the things which I wrote is not going to be very helpful, or is not giving us a headway, or is not giving us the path to follow and solve the question. So one way to do this is like, if this t, you know this t can be written as t wedge t as well as t dot t. I am writing it for a purpose. Try to understand. If it comes like this, so this is also equivalent to t, you know, with the help of tautology, you know it. Okay, fine. Now if you make a material implication, it will become like this. Okay, so this also you understand. Okay. So negation of t implies t will be equivalent to t wedge t is something which you understand, and therefore t will come. Now, can we create this from here? Yes, we can. How? If we have negation of t implies something and something implies t, so we can use hypothetical syllogism to get negation of t implies t from these two steps, right? So this should be the strategy for solving a question like this, because this is going to be very important also for the coming questions which will be coming in the say other lectures which we will be taking over here. So I remove this because this was just a rough work, and try to understand this thing or understand this I will say strategy for solving this question. Now, as you can see that we need to turn it into implication. So I will turn this only into implication. So this will become as an S implies T, right? So second material implication. Now I got negation of S implies T, and here I have S implies T. It is not serving any purpose actually. But as you remember, I told you, if you can create negation of T implies T. Okay. So what to do so that we can develop something like that? That means that we need to get a negation of T implies something and something. So what I will do is that I will change the position of these two things, because I can do it with the help of transposition. Because to get negation T, I need to get it here, and I will get this over here. So I will put it as T or negation of T, because I am changing the position, and this implies this will be basically negation of S, which will be nothing but S, right? This. So this is third, I will say, transposition, and I should also write it as double negation, because firstly there was double negations which I also removed, right? So I have used double negation as well, and definitely I have used transposition. Okay, I will write it also closer so that you should not get confused. So now I get negation of T implies S from negation of S implies T. Fine. Now negation of T implies S and S implies T. You can see. So I can write it as negation of T implies T. Right? This is what I wanted, because this is what I wanted here. Huh? I am removing it again because it was rough. So negation of T implies T I have got from 4 and 1 hypothetical syllogism. Fine. Okay. Now I can write it as double negation T wedge T, because if I will be using material implication, so it will become like that. Or you can directly write it as T wedge T, right? So this will be 5 material implication, and you can also write double negation. Why you should write double negation? Because the another negation was created, right? And that negation has been taken off. So that is the idea. So you can write it as T wedge T. And on 7th step, this T wedge T, you can apply tautology, and you can just write T. So on 6th, you have applied tautology. So even if this question is just of, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, right? But initially and naturally speaking, this usually does not come out, or students do not feel very comfortable, and they do not see the solution, naturally speaking. But with some practice and with the strategy developed, you will see that these questions or these type of questions will now, because now you can remember that if suppose S implies T, or say anything, P implies Q, and P wedge Q will be there, so you will get the answer as Q. You know how you will get it. So these kind of things also you should keep in your mind in order to do the difficult questions in a little bit faster way. Let us take one more question, which will be also a little bit of moderate type, and we may require a little bit of working with this. I will take this question first. E implies F. Second, E implies G. Therefore, E wedge G implies F. This is the question. E wedge G implies F. Yeah. So this is the question which we need to solve. Now, again, here this I will say solving the RHS will help you a little bit, or help you with this understanding that how to get the answer, because what to do in order to get this answer. Now let us solve this a little bit. If we solve this a little bit, this is rough work. I am doing rough work. I will remove it. This will become negation of E wedge G wedge F. So this will be negation E dot negation of G wedge F. So this will be negation of E wedge F dot negation of G wedge F. This is the simple one. So if you reach this step, you can understand that if you apply material implication here, you will get negation of E wedge F. If you apply material implication here, you will get negation of G wedge F, right? Am I doing it rightly? Yes. Negation of E wedge G you will get, and here E wedge. There is something with the question. Let me see. That is the idea. It is G. It is G implies F. Okay. Okay. Now it's fine. And the answer, I may check it again. It's E where G implies F. Okay. So if you do material implication here, you will get E wedge F, negation of E wedge F. If you apply material implication here, you will get negation of G wedge F. So that means after applying material implication on this step and on this step, you need to conjoin them together, and if you follow this train, you will get the answer. But I will not leave you here, rather than I will solve it, because many a times I think that since I have told you, so you have understood, and since you have understood, you will solve it. But does not matter whether I tell you or not. Unless you understand it, you cannot solve it. So it is my duty to tell you the full thing. So I will solve this thing for you, that how it happens. We will do it like negation of E wedge F. This is on first material implication. Then on fourth, negation of G wedge F. This is second material implication. Then fifth, I will do negation of E wedge F dot negation of G wedge F. This is 3, 4 conjunction, right? So I have got this. Now on sixth step, what I will do, I will apply distribution. Now again you can see that applying distribution here is not easy for again students. But if you see that how to apply say this distribution, you will get it like negation of E dot negation of G bracket close wedge F. Because if you do it, negation of E wedge F, this is the first one, negation of G wedge F, this is the second one, and this dot is here. So applying distribution from this side to this side is again a little bit difficult. So what you should do, you put this dot first in the between, you put this here, and this wedge F, the common part, you take it out. So it is distribution. So it is fifth distribution. Now you can apply De Morgan's law. So this will become E wedge G wedge F. So this will be the thing. It is on sixth, you have applied De Morgan's law, and if you put like the eighth step, so it will be E wedge G implies F, right? E wedge G implies F, because we are applying material implication over here, and that was the answer which we require. So a little bit of solving the right hand side helps, right? And a little bit of understanding the concepts of how we can reach the answer is also required. So for that you will remember the rules, also some nitty-gritties about it, and you will be able to solve these kind of questions. Okay. So let us take one more question before we finish this part of our lecture, because we will keep the lectures shorter so that it is easier for you to follow. Let us take one more question for this lecture, and I will choose a simple one, like S implies T dot U. Then second, T wedge U implies V. Therefore, S implies V. So this is the question which has been given to us, and we will try to solve it. Now again, as you can see that the answer is having S and V. However, the question is also having U, right? So again, there will be a requirement of elimination. So you need to understand that whichever part is having T, you need to eliminate, and whichever part is having S or say T or U, you need to eliminate. You only need to keep the things with S and V. But this will not come naturally unless you will understand that if this S implies this and this implies V. So if you see the answer, S implies V, this is the requirement of the answer. If you can create something so that S implies something comes and that something implies T comes, so your this something implies V comes, then S implies V will come for sure. Now here in this question you can see that T dot U and T wedge U are not equivalent expressions. You cannot say that S implies T dot U and T wedge U implies V, therefore S implies V. You cannot say like that. You will not be applying hypothetical syllogism here. You cannot apply hypothetical syllogism here. But you can definitely modify it up to a level that you can create this something and this something the same. Let us try what will be our strategy to solve it. Okay, let us try this. Let me put on the third step negation of S wedge T dot U. Okay, I am writing U as this because it is good to write even capital letter U as this, because sometimes you will not get confused with V, because whenever you will writing V, it will, people can write it V like this as well, right? So these kind of confusions, in order to avoid this kind of confusions, I put the U like this, so you do not get confused. Okay. Now I have kept it like this, negation of S wedge. Okay. And fourth step, if I do it like this, S wedge T dot negation of S wedge U. Okay. So in this step what I did was first material implication, and in this step I have applied on third distribution. Fine. So I have got this. From here, if I take out this negation of S wedge T, this is fourth simplification. So I will get S implies T. Okay. Now since I have got S implies T, I will write it as fifth material implication. So since I have got S implies T, now my focus should be that can I get T implies V, or else I will think about this step, but there will be no requirement for it. Let us see. Now let us move to the second step, because till the time we will not move to the second step, we will not get this T implies V, because we need the answer as S implies V. So we have already created S implies something, that is T. So now we will try to create T implies V. Let us try. We put seventh step as negation of T wedge U implies, or now the implies will not be there, wedge V. Okay, so this will be second material implication, right? So I am using material implication. Now eighth step will be that I will be applying De Morgan's law, negation of T dot negation of U wedge V. So this will be seventh De Morgan's law, right? So I have applied De Morgan's. Now on the ninth step, what I will do, I will write it as negation of T wedge V dot negation of U wedge V. Fine. So this will be eighth distribution. Fine. So I have applied distribution, I have got this. So you can see that I have got S implies T, and from here I will get T implies V. So I will simplify this part. How will I simplify this part? Let me take this part of the board for the solution. So on 10th step, what I will write? I will write negation of t which v. This is ninth simplification. Okay, so I have simplified step number 9. So on 11th step, it will be t implies v. On 10, I am using material implication. Fine. So I got t implies v. So on 12th step, what I can do is, look, I have got s implies t, this step, s implies t, and I have got t implies v on this step. So using these steps, I can write it as s implies v by using 6 and 11 hypothetical syllogism. So you see that the answer is reached. So the strategy was that I will create S implies something and that something implies V to get the answer. Now if you have followed this question a little bit more, you can see that I have taken S implies T from here and I got S implies negation of S wedge T from here and I got S implies T, and then negation of T implies V from here I got T implies V. You could have done it with the other part as well. If you would have simplified this, you would have taken one more step by writing commutation, and after that you can simplify. So it will become S implies U. If you see, this will become S implies U, and this will become U implies V, this part. So you need to solve one more step. So even if you would have simplified this part and this part, okay, if you simplify this part and this part, then you are not going anywhere. But if you are simplifying the left sides, then also you are reaching the answer. If you are simplifying the right sides, then also you will reach the answer. So as I told you that these questions can be solved in more than one way, right? And this is going to be the beauty of logic as well, that it is not having a single solution. There can be more than one solutions, and there definitely can be more than one way of solving it. So right now what you will discover is that there are more than one way, or there are more ways to solve a question. It depends. With whatever way you are comfortable, you should apply. So these were certain moderate type of questions which I took for this lecture. In the coming lectures, because I will be holding a lot of lectures on these rules of replacement, because there are still different types of questions which needs to be solved. So in the coming lectures, we will be taking more complex and difficult questions. These were simple and moderate questions. We will be taking more complex and difficult questions and have a very good practice session with the rules of inference and rules of replacement.